Hi everyone, I'm Nathan with the ebookreader.com. For this video, I'm going to give you guys a review of the new Nook GlowLight Plus. This is Barnes & Noble's latest e-reader for 2015. It's been a couple years since they've released a new e-reader, so let's go ahead and talk about the new features. It's got this new design with a flush front screen, and it's got the 300 pixel per inch e-ink display, so we've got some upgrades over the earlier models. It's got this new sleek design, like I was saying. It's got the flush screen, and it's got this metal back. Because it's aluminum back, it's kind of slick is the downside, and it's kind of cool to the touch. Obviously it's more meant to be in a cover. It's also waterproof. The front here, it's got this texture to it, as you can see right there. It's the first e-reader I've seen with this sort of texture on the bezel. So like I said, these are flush, but then there's there's sort of like a little bit of a edge right there, just because of the where the texture ends and the screen begins. We've got this Nook button down here. It's not an actual button, it's a sensor. So the old Nooks had an actual button, and then when you pressed it, it would bring up a menu at the bottom. You could choose from some different things. Now you just hit it, it takes you to the home screen. I'm really not a fan of this button because I'm always accidentally pressing it. So like I'll be reading a book and then I'll just like readjust my grip. I'll like grab it down here or something, and then it will take me back to the home screen because I accidentally pressed that button. You don't have to actually press it, you just brush over it and it will activate it. So I'm not the biggest fan of that button, but it is what it is. So like the last Nook GlowLight, there are no page turn buttons and there is no memory card slot. So you just got the 4 gigabytes, which is about 2.5 gigabytes usable content. So like I said, this new Nook, it has the 300 pixel per inch, the highest resolution screens available, so text is really nice and clear and sharp. Do really like the screen, it looks really nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the front light before getting into the software details. Like the last Nook, it has a front light, but this one's more even. This is actually a really nice front light. It's got really good coloration, it's really nice and even. This is definitely the best front light front light e-reader that Barnes & Noble has released so far. You can adjust the front light brightness up here. I've already got it at max brightness, so my camera adjusts, but let's sort of go ahead and show you some of the dimmer levels here. So yeah, that looks really strange on the camera. It doesn't really show the dim levels at all, hardly, but I like it around here for reading. It's a good, nice, even tone on the screen. There is just a touch, maybe a slight hue of yellowish towards the bottom. The front light has more of a yellow or a bluish tone than some of the other e-readers on the market. I do like the light. Like I said, it's nice and even, makes the text stand out even more, so that's definitely a plus as far as the front light's concerned. So as just a quick example, here's the old Nook Touch, the like B&N's famous first e-reader. Had the page buttons, the memory card slot, so they moved a lot away from the design on this model, but as you can see, it's a lot different when you don't have a front light. Like I said, my camera automatically adjusts, so it makes it hard to tell, but when you have another non-front lit e-reader next to it, you can really tell how much the difference that light is making the text easier to read than it is in the old school Nooks. Alright, so let's talk about the software now. I think the hardware is really solid. I do like the design on this new Nook. I like the high resolution screen and the front light, like I said, but where things kind of come apart a bit is the software. There's not a whole lot of features compared to some of the other e-readers. You kind of locked in a little bit more. Right now it doesn't even support Adobe DRM ebooks. It's like an oversight at launch. I don't know if they're going to fix that or what, but right now we just got Nook books on board. You can also sideload EPUB and PDFs. I'll show you right now about the book layout. Actually, let's talk about the home screen first. So this is the home screen layout, and they give you these recommended titles here. Like the past Nook, you can't get rid of those, so you do have those on home screen permanently. You can also view your books in the library view over here. So that's just the home screen will show your most recent titles. If you come over here into the library, you got some more sorting options. You can sort by recent, title, and name, and then your content is segregated into different sections for magazines, newspapers, everything like that. So there are two different ways you can lay out the books here. You can view the list like I have it now, or you can view the grid, which is similar to the home screen layout where you get the cover view. Got the usual option to move books to the cloud. We can create different shelves, so if you wanted to, it's not like folders exactly, if you wanted to create a shelf and put specific titles into that, you can right there. So you have to scroll around to get to the pages. One thing that I don't like is it doesn't overlap, so if you have a ton of books on here, it's going to be really hard to get to them all. You just have to keep scrolling. It's basically your only option. You can't jump to a page like some devices. You can hit this, jump to a specific page. So you're basically going to be needing to run some searches or anything like that. And then you get your list right there. So that's probably the quickest way to run searches as far as trying to find things in your library is concerned. Either that or setting up shelves. So other things here on the home screen, this is the only place you have access to like your shop icon. So you can go to BNN, buy ebooks from BNN obviously. So got the onboard shopping experience. We've got the this new feature here called BNN Readouts, which is sort of just like a way to get you to go shopping at the store. It will list some books what you'd have maybe have interest in. You can select different, like if you wanted to just see specific genres, you can select to do so right there, and then you will get basically an excerpt for these books. You can just click on here and then read about it, and then it will obviously direct you to the shopping to the store to shop. Another thing you can do is you can add it to your wish list. So if you are looking at these in BNN Readouts, you can add it to your wish list, and then when you go shopping into the store there, you got it there for easy access on your wish list section. Alright, so let's talk about some of the ebook features now. The ebook engine is different than it was on past Nooks, so we've got some different stuff going on here. As you can see right here, we got the, for instance, the header and footer, which I am a huge non-fan of. We've got this big huge wasted space down here, big huge wasted space down here. So essentially takes the 6-inch screen and turns it into a 4-inch screen, because that's just how the software lays it out. It used to didn't have so much wasted space on the previous Nooks, but so that's how it works on this one. If you sideload ebooks or if you have BNN ebooks, it doesn't matter. It always has the name of the book at the top and this big section down here for the page numbers. I don't know why you need such a huge section for such a tiny page number, but it is what it is. Maybe you like that. I personally don't. Alright, so you've got the usual features. If you hold down on a word, brings up the dictionary. Some folks may not like that it opens up a separate window for the dictionary and the text is pretty small. I don't know why they use this really grayed out text here. Obviously it's kind of strange. You can run some additional searches if you hit the icon up there. We can always jump back to reading by hitting that reading icon, and you can also just exit out of that since there isn't a back button. So like I was saying, you can add the notes and highlights by holding down on the word like usual. It seems to take a little bit longer than I'm used to. You gotta hold down, there we go. We can also add text notes. If you hit that icon right there, it'll pop up the keyboard. Use it to type text notes. Not accurately, apparently. Pryboard. That sounds cooler than keyboard anyway. So then once you have a note, it has that little icon right there, but you can hide those if you want. What were some of the other things here? So you do have sharing as well when you select. You can select additional words if you want to like share a whole paragraph, but you can't select over pages. You can share on Facebook. I don't have Facebook set up on here, so it'll just bring open the prompt. A little quick tip, if you ever want to use the web browser on this thing, you just open up this prompt right here and then hit the help center, and it will actually open the web browser. It's just like the old Nooks did. They had the exact same thing. It's not an official feature, but if you go to the help section on there, then you can open up the web browser, and it doesn't work very good, but I mean, you can use it. I tried downloading an ebook from Feedbooks and it didn't work. It just crashes the browser, so you can't download anything with the browser at all. Yeah, as you can see, it just has stopped working, so you can't actually functionally use the browser to download ebooks, but I mean, if you needed to reference something quickly, you could use that quick tip to get to the web browser. So I busted out the old original Nook Touch just to see how the text compared. Obviously it does look better on this new high resolution screen. It surprises me how gray it looks on the old Nook, and it doesn't even have any kind of layer over the screen. But yeah, it definitely looks darker on the new Nook with that high res screen. You can definitely see the benefit over the old school lower resolution original Nook Touch. But definitely page turns are faster on the old Nook Touch. I don't know why. You hit the button, it's like almost instant. This one, there's like a slight delay. Alright, so some of the other on-screen reading features, we have the usual text adjustment options. I really only like one font. It's the Malabar font. So we've got some different choices on here. Georgia's the default. I don't know why, but it seems to kind of gray out when you're turning pages. It doesn't, the screen never really fully refreshes, so it kind of gets sort of faded after a while. It seems to do it a little bit more than Malabar. I don't know why, but it looks okay too. As you can see, like I was saying, it doesn't do the full screen refresh when you're turning pages, just refreshes the text. And we have the usual margin and line spacing adjustments. You just have the 3 options. So we don't have as many options as say like the Kobo e-readers. They have a whole bunch of margin, line spacing options, a whole bunch of font options. You can sideload your own font. So we don't have that kind of options on the Nook device. And one thing I don't like about the rendering of the ebooks is sometimes the words are too close together. Look at this sentence right here. Let's get it closer up. It's like that when I had, those like seem way too close together. So does time machine. They also kind of go a little crazy with the hyphens. I don't know, there seems to be an extraordinary number of hyphens, and sometimes they have them like at the end of the page, which really isn't normally something you would do in a regular book. I mean, and sometimes the hyphens are kind of in an odd location as far as the word is concerned. They kind of break it up odd sometimes. I don't know, it's just a little bit jarring at times. So some of the other on-screen features here, we have the screen dial. You can just jump around using that, and then once you jump, it puts this little back icon right there so you can jump back to where you were. And this is a new feature. It gives it a reading estimate down here. The old Nooks didn't have that. It gives you an estimate how much longer it will take you to read the chapter. So we can access the table of contents from up here, jump around this way. So you can also access your notes and highlights from that window. Got your highlights and notes section, all the bookmarks that have been added, and it also keeps track of the words you've looked up. So there's not a whole lot of options in the settings menu. They weren't really bare bones. You can just adjust the front light brightness, set up different wireless options. So you can set what you want to appear on the screen when the device is asleep. You get different options for that. You can turn off the screen, set the screen time out at this specific time. You can set the device's time up there. And that's about it. Oh yeah, we got profiles on this Nook, which is a new feature. You can set up different profiles. So if you wanted to share the device with family members or whatever, you can come in here and create different profiles. You can create a child profile where you can set it up to only access certain content, or you can set up another adult profile has access to everything on your account. So you got different options for that. You can set up to 6 profiles. Alright, so I showed you ebooks. I usually do a separate review for PDFs. Let me show you this really quick because the Nook is so incredibly basic. It's the last device you want to get for any kind of PDF use, seriously. There are no zooming options. There's no landscape mode. You basically have this exactly how it is right here. It lays out like this. Text is super tiny. The 300 pixel per inch screen does help make the text be readable at that small of a size, but I mean, there's no zooming options. There's no landscape mode, so obviously PDFs are pretty much an afterthought on this device. And you can hold down on a word. It doesn't always work with PDFs, kind of just depends on the specific PDF if you get the on-screen options here for notes and highlights and the dictionary and whatnot. So obviously if it's image-based, it's not going to be able to load up the words, but just sort of depends. Alright, so that's been a review of the Nook GlowLight Plus. Check out the ebookreader.com. I'll have some additional information on there like usual with the review and some comparisons. Thank you guys for watching. You have a good day.